Is this actually good for a Wolverine prop? Because I don't have any other prop for Wolverine, plus I need to buy a new Wolverine shirt, but I assume that, I mean, using this pencil for Thunderbolt should be fine, right?
Like we used to do.
Logan is the final Wolverine movie in the Wolverine franchise, and this time this will be the final movie where we'll ever see Wolverine and also Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine, which then becomes the third movie to be the R-rated movie. And in this movie, Logan takes place in the future somewhere in 2024, where mutants has now exist, and the only mutant left is Logan himself and also Professor Charles Xavier. And now they're trying to struggle to survive as a bunch of bounty hunters, I should call it, are trying to actually hunt them down, take them down, and yes, destroy every mutant in this world. But now what becomes a problem in this movie is that Wolverine has a little bit connection with X-23, who is the girl that actually shows up to Wolverine, and now they must survive together in order to cease from humanity. Actually, what I'm trying to say is that basically it's a Wolverine movie, and they're trying to survive from those body hunters, and now they got X-23 with them, and then suddenly they're trying to survive as they go together. Now, as I'm going to watch this movie, actually I didn't ask to watch this movie, but then suddenly I was on Melancholy Hill. I mean, I'm saying that's a song name, and actually I was kind of sad at that time. But actually everyone has been saying that the movie is good. Everyone was watching the movie, and I'm the only one here sitting here haven't watched the movie because I'm trying to do some projects. That's why I was very busy. So you know what, on Sunday I decided I watched the movie with my mom, and I saw this movie in IMAX, and it was unexpected that I'm actually watching an R-rated IMAX movie. And yes, I finally did it. Now actually I want to talk about the beginning to the end. Now the beginning is kind of post-apocalyptic to me. I mean, it understands because it takes place in Mexico City, where Wolverine and the rest are basically there with Charles Xavier as well. And that's after the scenes, you know, after this thing happened. Now in the middle, it becomes a road trip because Wolverine, Charles Xavier, and as well X-23 tries to escape from those body hunters or those military, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to call them body hunter because they look like it, I would say, because that fits perfectly into the tone of the villain. And I forgot the name of the villain, really. I'll talk about the characters later. And finally, as we get to the end, it's kind of like, it's a predictable spoilers that I just don't want to talk about the end. It's just, I don't want to say it. Just, I'm not going to spoil you a video in this spoiler-free review. Now, about the characters themselves, yes, we get Wolverine himself, Logan, Logan Howlett, also known as the Wolverine. Now, it kind of makes sense why this movie is rated R, because it's the final Wolverine movie. And not just that, in this movie, it reveals the true nature of Wolverine, where he likes to curse, and then he does violent things, he gets too drunk, and also then when he attacks people, you know, it's very violent that, you know, he would come up with his claw and then just start stabbing people, cut their parts off, and also as well blood rain everywhere. Now about Charles Xavier's character, I don't know how I'm going to explain this character, but he's very old. He acts like he's an old person than the one that we used to see in the X-Men franchise. But in this version, he's kind of very old, and he's kind of weak and that. And you know, Logan would say, you have to drink these pills and that. And yeah, basically he's like a sick person to me. I mean, then suddenly these things happen, like an earthquake or something like that, which becomes a main problem to him. The best part of this movie is as well Daphne Keene's character as X-23, also known as Laura. As we see in the movie, she doesn't talk much, but sometimes she would come with an aggressive talk, you know, like she would just scream when she attacks her enemy. She's actually the same with Wolverine, just like what Professor Xavier said in the trailer, but the difference is that she has two claws, however you want to say it, you know, and she also has something. She's very good at this movie, and she's actually the best Wolverine movie we'll ever see. I mean, she's awesome, she's bad A, and it's just, she's a great character. I just love seeing her in this movie, even though it's like she's 11 years old or whatever. Now, actually, there are lots of violent scenes in this movie. I understand why it's an R-rated movie. It reveals the true nature of Wolverine, so we want it to be a final Wolverine movie. So you know what? Let's make it an R-rated movie. So I'm fine with that. And about Logan himself, he cursed a lot in this movie. There's a lot of cursing in this movie. There's a lot of F-word and whatever, those insulting language. It's just that, I don't know, I think it's not good to follow that. My mom was like actually okay watching this movie. Like, she understands why actually Logan has been cursing too much in this movie, why there are a lot of F words, and why Wolverine likes to curse because he's drunk and that, and he's sometimes an aggressive person. That's the true nature of Wolverine. And not just that, now there are lots of violent things happening in this movie. There are blood as well, there's blood everywhere. what I'm gonna say is blood rain. You know, basically when you stab someone and suddenly a tear of blood just come out, and I'm just gonna call it blood rain. So it's basically on everyone, and there are lots of great action scenes in it, which actually the violent tone makes the action scenes kind of great, but sometimes the tone of the movie doesn't work well for me. I mean, it takes place in somewhere in the desert, but turns out that it has a great storyline. And I want to say it, but the ending is a little bit like Maze Runner. I'm just honest. I just think of that when I just watch the ending part, like all the way to the end. Now, about the violent scenes, yes, there are as well blood rain. There's as well arms being cut off. I mean, as you see Wolverine attacking with his claws, and also X-23 using her claws. There were lots of stabbing. There were lots of blood everywhere, and also some parts that were actually being cut off, which was actually do it in a violent way, which makes the action kind of looks great to me. I mean, it's a Wolverine movie, but that part kind of looks violent to me. I have to say this, but Logan is actually one Wolverine movie not to miss. And since I see this on IMAX, I have to say it is the best Wolverine we'll ever see in IMAX theaters. And yes, I mean, I saw this movie in IMAX and it actually works great for me. I love everything that was used in IMAX theaters, and actually, yes, the movie works great as I watch it in theaters, and overall, I enjoyed the movie so far. And this movie is the final Wolverine movie. I'm glad I watched this movie. I don't have to see X-Men Origins Wolverine or either just the Wolverine itself. I mean, I only watched the Wolverine and now I just watched Logan, and it's just a great movie. Alright, so once I'm done with this review, now, finally, sorry it took me a week only to work on this review because I got things to work on, and then after this review, I'll be moving on to Kong Skull Island, so that's another late review that'll be coming up. Maybe somewhere about next week and this week or whatever that review's gonna come out. So yeah, that was my review on Logan. Here's the outro. That is all for this video. If you do enjoy this video, give it a like. That would be very helpful. And in the description, you'll find 2 links where you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. I appreciate you guys for watching this, and I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.